a friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 774. Tighten that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. The video that we're about to watch today, I have been wanting to watch this video now with y'all for almost a freaking month, Bean Team. At least the last 3 weeks, I've been like, man, one day me and the Bean Team gotta watch this video together. And the channel that we're going to watch this video from, I think I've only reacted to 2, maybe 3, at the most 4 of his videos. But it's time to check another one out. And that channel that I'm talking about is Nexpo. Back to Nexpo, Bean Team. It has been a long time, but we are finally back here. And the title of the video is The Real Blair Witch Incident. Now, the reason I've been wanting to watch this video with y'all is because, long story short, short story long, Bean Team, you know I gotta give this to y'all real quick. The Blair Witch Project, right, the movie, was released in 1999. In 1999, I was 8 years old, Bean Team, when this movie came out. And I didn't go to the theaters and saw it, right? But it came out on VHS also in 1999. I looked it up. It came out in July 1999 on VHS. Y'all remember VHS, right? You know what I'm saying? The VCR. And long story short, short story long, my sister and her boyfriend, right, they rented it. You remember Blockbusters? And they didn't get it from Blockbusters. They got it from another movie, VCR, video, Super Nintendo place where you can rent games and movies. They got it from like a local place around here. And so they brought it to the house one night, you know what I'm saying? And they told me, I can remember them telling me that it was a scary movie. Like, I knew it was a scary movie, but I still decided to watch it with them. You know what I'm saying, man? So they watched it that night, and I'm watching the movie. And in front of them, I'm trying to act all tough and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to act like I'm a big boy. You know what I'm saying? This ain't scaring me. This ain't scaring me. The whole time, this freaking movie is scaring the you-know-what out of me, BT. Like, seriously. The Blair Witch Project is one of those movies I can remember from my childhood that scared the F out of me, y'all. So we get done watching the movie and all that, and I vividly can remember not even wanting to go to sleep that night. I didn't even want to goddamn go in my room by myself, Being Team. Like, my mama was already sleeping, whoever was in the house. I can't remember all the details, but everybody was asleep except for me, my sister, and her boyfriend. And when the movie was over, boyfriend went home, my sister went to her room. So now I got to go down the hallway by myself. It's pitch black, you know what I'm saying? All the lights off in the house, and this hallway, for some reason, after watching this movie, looked so freaking long, y'all, just to get to my room. You know what I'm saying, man? And it just scared the F out of me. I was thinking maybe the Blair Witch lady gonna come out and get me. I don't know what the freak I was scared of or what I was thinking, but I did walk down the hallway, and I got in my room, got in the bed. Took me forever to fall asleep. I'm all scared. It's all quiet. It's all dark. Like, oh my God, like I said, BT. Long story, short story long, even though I done made this short story even longer and gonna make it a little longer because I got something else to say about this. I finally went to sleep, and I just realized the Blair Witch Project movie was one of those ones, Bean Team. And also, real quick, another talking point about the Blair Witch Project, which made it even more scarier. This is one of the major things that this movie like did differently, especially for the 90s, 1999. The way the movie was made, it was not made like a regular movie. It was like presented like a documentary to the audience. It was basically, for y'all that don't know, I know a lot of y'all know, but it was basically three maybe teenagers or early 20 people. It was two boys or two young male adults and one young female adult that went out into the woods, and it's like they had their own freaking camcorder. Y'all remember the camcorders, the big ass cameras that you had to hold up on your shoulder like this way before you had a freaking iPhone or any cell phones really to exist back then, especially to open to the public. And it damn sure when recording no camera had no camera recording device on it or whatever. You get what I'm saying, Bean Team? And it was just literally them going off into the woods, and it made it feel so real. Like it looked like it was a real documentary. Like they was just recording their activities in the woods, and the freaking Blair Witch was out there. And that goes back to my last point. Then we're gonna get to the actual video, y'all. That goes to my last point about it being so real and stuff. This was before social media. You know what I'm saying? This was before Twitter and all that, where you can, or Google, even Google. You couldn't even just get on Google and search something real quick, or Yahoo back then. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think Yahoo was popping off back then. Everybody didn't have access to the freaking internet or social media to find out what was real and what was fake. So it was like just an ongoing discussion within your own communities. Like the Blair Witch Project, man, that's a real movie. I can remember even my sister and her boyfriend saying that they think it is probably real, and they weren't telling me that because they was trying to scare me. It's just way back then we didn't have the resources to find out what was real and what was not. And the way they shot it, Bean Team, that is looked real as elf to me at the age of 8 years old, and it most definitely was scary. And I digress. After all that long story short story long, Bean Team, we gonna go and get into today's video. But before we get into it, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We are going back to Nexpo. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go. Get whatever you may need.
What is this about?
Well, to be honest with you, this isn't really about anything. This is about us. Try to get her halfway done. Danielle. Stop right now.
It's a late night. Unassuming. Quiet. The Walton Files blares on your bedroom TV, filling the void of darkness around you. It's peaceful, comfortable even. You scroll through Reddit, searching for something to pass the time. Before, out of nowhere, a lone post by an Emerald Spring populates your feed. They're searching for something, some sort of lost documentary called The Real Blair Witch. There seems to be so little information about this documentary out there and absolutely nowhere to watch it. I recall it being on TV, and there's one or two references to it out there. It has nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project and is more of a true crime documentary. I'd love to see it again, and it's frustrated me for years now, not being able to track it down. It must be out there in some archive somewhere, but I'm guessing its lack of availability kind of makes it lost. At first glance,
So now we know, Bean Team, that this the real Blair Witch has nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project, but I still think that this name is derived from the Blair Witch Project.
this seems relatively unassuming. Yet another lost media mystery with hardly a lead to go on. Yet the name, the real Blair Witch, shrouds it in this weird tinge of dread. I don't know what it is, but something about the way this is framed, the lack of information, something about this has sparked something. Within their post, Emerald Spring provides a link to its IMDb page, revealing that there's hardly anything to go off of. The page is barren. Just one review, a release year, and director. The only tangible bit of info here is the plot summary. A group of teens from Flint, Michigan film themselves kidnapping and terrorizing a new acquaintance before taking her out to the woods and dumping her in a shallow grave. They then taunt their terrified and blindfolded victim, asking if she had any last requests before they cut her throat. But was the kidnap real or just a game? What's revealed is an extraordinary and disturbing record of a night when something went terribly, terribly wrong. Well, now you've got my attention. With such a graphic, visceral description of such an inhumane crime, curiosity in this case took off on Reddit. Comment after comment poured in, expressing interest in tracking this footage down. Most believed in its existence, others not so much. Regardless, though, the common theme here was intrigue. The Blair Witch Project, back when it came out, was horrifying, and the implications of someone recreating this in real life to torment a very real person sounds like it's straight out of a nightmare. What in the world did Emerald Spring watch back then? What truly is this? Over the following weeks, whispers about the doc's existence would trickle in. Mentions in online articles. A trailer on a production company called Raw TV's own Vimeo page. But what really sent this mystery into the stratosphere was nearly an entire year later when a Redditor named Transbian8787 would chime in with the revelation that no one saw coming.
It does exist, Bean Team. The real Blair Witch is an actual movie. Now, if it's real or fake yet, I don't freaking know. Well, Transbian8787 has uploaded it. Let's give it a go. Shout out to Mike from that chapter.
The real Blair Witch, as it turned out, was very real. However, once Pandora's box was opened and the internet began to sink their collective teeth into it, it was realized that this story is much, much stranger than anyone had imagined. The real Blair Witch isn't just a film. It's a glance into one of the eeriest, most bizarre incidents that I have ever read about, ensnaring nearly everyone involved.
But it's already good, and we just now getting through the opening intro of this video from Nexpo. The real Blair Witch.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of an emergency, please walk to the nearest exit. Thank you.
When the Blair Witch Project hit theaters in 1999, it didn't just scare audiences, it changed the horror genre. More than just a film, it became a psychological experiment that made people question what was real and what wasn't. The setup was simple. 3 young filmmakers set out to document an old urban legend, only to vanish without a trace. What remained was the footage they left behind. But unlike traditional horror films, this story had no scripted feel. No heart-stopping jump scares, just raw, unfiltered horror. The shaky camera work, improvised dialogue, and eerie silence between panicked breaths all made it feel as if it were set in reality. And that was exactly the point. The movie, as you'd expect, became an overnight sensation, shattering records and opening the door to a completely fresh, realistic, and raw form of terror. However, its impact stretched well beyond the film industry.
Boy, Nexpo just described everything I described in a even more short and long story, short story long version than what I was telling y'all about at the beginning about my experience with Nexpo. And that's pretty much was everybody's experience as far as just how big the movie was. Was it real or was it fake? It was the first time that we ever seen this type of documentary style horror film. You know what I'm saying, man? Oh, the freaking nostalgia, Bean Team. The freaking nostalgia. I miss the 90s.
Suddenly, horror fans, amateur filmmakers, and thrill seekers were heading into abandoned locations and recording eerie footage. And the internet soon became a breeding ground for low-resolution videos claiming to document real paranormal encounters. Some were easily debunked, others less so. And that's where things began to take a strange turn. Because when an entire generation starts to believe that some of the most terrifying things can be caught on a simple high-8 tape, it's only a matter of time before someone tries to prove it. Alright guys, before we continue, I'd like to tell you about...
This is good, y'all. This is most definitely good. Shout out to Nexpo, man. Shout out to my boy Nex freaking Po. Let's go.
February 2002. It's a frigid night in the town of Flint, Michigan, and a 19-year-old named Danielle Taylor crosses paths with a 20-year-old Travis Peya, a community college student with big dreams of making horror films. Peya shared a house with a man named John Cockrell, another student and self-proclaimed horror fanatic. Their house, it was the spot per se, the hangout for their tight-knit circle, which included a James Carwile, Christina Lum, and Derek Faxlinger. At first, everything seemed mundane within their friend group. Danielle would visit the house a handful of times, and nothing seemed all that out of the ordinary. Just a few weeks later, on the night of March 6th, however, their entire dynamic would, out of nowhere, take a dark turn. By complete surprise, Danielle was restrained, blindfolded, handcuffed, and threatened with murder. And all of it filmed on a single high-8 tape.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you.
The video opens inside a dimly lit house, bathed in the eerie green glow that can only be provided by an old-school night vision camera. Danielle stands front and center, seeming a bit annoyed that she's being filmed. Behind the camera is Travis Peya, his voice steady as he asks her a strange question. What would you say if you knew this was your last day on Earth?
Oh.
Danielle smirks, brushing off the question with a simple, "Fuck you." There's a heavy undercurrent of something else, though. Something unspoken. A shadow moves behind her. One of the men steps forward, revealing something in his hands. A blindfold, maybe a gag, and the mood shifts. Travis prompts Danielle again, this time instructing to say ready, set, go.
And I'm just wondering, Bean Team, like, do Danielle know that this is real or not? Do she know that this is all an act as far as like they are playing with her? You know what I'm saying? We just having fun for the camera, joking around. I kind of believe that when she was like, F you, when one of them said, what if you knew this was your last day on Earth, and the way she was just like, F you, you know what I'm saying? Just like she not taking it seriously, or are these dudes serious and she don't freaking know it? Let's find out.
Sensing something is off, she refuses. Someone's behind her. Something is up here. She turns. Yet before she can react, multiple hands grab at her. She barely has time to respond before she's wrestled to the ground. She fights briefly, but it doesn't take long for her to realize she isn't getting away. Whatever this is, it's happening. The scene cuts. We find ourselves in a car. The lighting is bad. Again, night vision. Danielle sits in the back seat, blindfolded, scared out of her mind. She's stiff, her face only showing fear. Christina Lum, the only other woman to appear in the video, is driving. She doesn't say much, just keeps her eyes on the road. At first, the guys verbally taunt her, but there's this edge to it. And then we see it. One of them, Jonathan Cockrell, has a knife. It's pressed right up against her. They start asking her questions. Did you have a good life? Say your last words to your family. If you could go back in time and change anything, would you?
Okay, B team. Now I done went from did she think, was she in on the shit, like as far as like, did she think they was just joking around with her and she was just taking it lightly, and now she at the point where now she realized that it's real? Or, and I'm hoping for this point now, I'm hoping for this, maybe this is just all an act. Maybe everybody's just an actor in this freaking movie, just like we found out with the Blair Witch Project. You know what I'm saying? At the time when I was 8 years old, I thought it was real as elf, and now I'm looking at this is at the age of 34 years old, and boy, these actors doing a great job so far. I'm just saying, and I don't know if it's just because the way it's shot, which goes back to another point. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just holding a camcorder recording this ish. But I hope everybody is just acting right now. I hope this is just all a script and everybody just following it. I hope this is not really what's happening or happened. Because that image that you see of that dude freaking smiling right now, in hindsight, if we find out this ish was real, would be a lot more crazier. Let's go.
Danielle hesitates. She tells her mom she loves her. She says she's sorry for everything. She tells those in the car with her that she has nothing to say to them. Nothing she says will be right anyway. No one reassures her. No one tells her it's okay. And the video cuts again. Deep in the heart of the forest, the camera follows as James carries Danielle over his shoulder. The group moves with a sense of purpose, heading straight for a spot they've already prepared. A shallow grave, barely 2 or 3 feet deep. They set her down before explaining what's coming next. They're going to cut her before burying her alive and leaving her to die. Travis stands over the pit, knife in hand. The blindfold that had been covering Danielle's eyes is pulled down around her neck, and she doesn't say a word. Following this, Travis kneels down, brings the blade right up to her, and then...
Oh!
Nothing. He never actually cuts her.
Woo! Boy, you had me fooled for a second there, buddy.
Times the act of slashing Danielle's throat before she goes completely limp and pretends to be dead.
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife.
Just like that, the entire mood shifts. The group starts laughing, giving each other pats on the back over what they had just done. One by one, they turn to the camera, introducing themselves, explaining their roles in this so-called film. They even take bows, grinning the entire time. Danielle Taylor, as it turned out, wouldn't die that night. Contrary to the knife being held to her throat, contrary to her being tied up against her will, contrary to her being thrown haphazardly into a massive hole in the ground, This was nothing but a stunt. A prank for a movie. Funny, right?
Yes, it is. Well, not funny, but at least I feel relieved right now, Nexpo. You know what I'm saying? Because, boy, when he first showed that the lady got her neck chopped off, I thought it was real, Bean Team. In that moment, I was already believing it, didn't know what to believe. But when we got to that moment, I was like, oh, it's up. This ish is actually real. But now he just revealed that, no, this was a prank. You see it right there, a prank for a movie. But it's still something sinister going on with this ish. We just not halfway through it, Bean Team. Let's find out.
Halting the recording, the group unties her, harping on just how realistic, how entertaining her reaction was. Surely, this will seem visceral enough to make it to film. This was their big break, their escape from Flint, Michigan, after all. For Danielle, though, she was far from fine. Just a few minutes before, she thought she was dying. She had nothing to laugh about here because the entire joke was solely on her.
I can't remember her name. Danielle.
So far, it's been easy to follow Danielle's state of mind throughout this. A woman trapped by those she trusted, a victim of an inhumane prank. However, that's where our central problem begins. Because was this all nothing but a sick joke? That is the question that soon becomes the heart of this entire incident. And the answer depends on who you believe.
Oh, hell no. Now this gonna take this ish left again. We was going left. We came back right. Now we finna go left again. If freaking Danielle did not know there was a prank the whole time and they just told her at the end when they literally didn't freaking slice her freaking neck open. You know what I'm saying? And that may be why when they ended the whole scene and she went down like this, that may be why she didn't freaking holler and scream, not holler and scream, didn't react to the same way that they react, like, oh, that's the end of the movie. It's like she just remained silent. Was she in on this joke? I don't know, BT. This one is such a good freaking video. I'm so invested in it, and I got so many questions, as y'all can see.
It looks like an ordinary day in the USA, but in the city of Flint, Michigan, all is excitement. Even the small fry are buzzing. And the older boys and girls are let out of school. Oh, this is a day. The whole town's a bustle. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a parade, too. And what's a parade without festive bunting and gala decorations?
The city of Flint, Michigan is undoubtedly one of desolation. It's a place once bustling, lively, full of opportunity. Yet today, it stands as nothing but a shell of what it once was. When the automotive industry backed away, it left a void of broken dreams, families with shattered aspirations. It's depressing that something like this can actually happen to those who had no hand in the matter at all. Like we established, the Blair Witch Project shattered the world, sending audiences into a frenzy and inspiring loads of those with nothing but a camera to create something horrifying of their very own. The entire group maintains that they all had hopes, dreams to get out of Flint and to make something of themselves. And while they could have chosen a myriad of ways to do that, the film industry, for once in its near century-long history, felt like something attainable, a vehicle to a completely new life. In the following days, Danielle Taylor, reeling from the incident on March 6th, would revisit the Peya home. It was done on invitation, a night for all of them to rewatch their masterpiece. Yet for Danielle, she had other plans.
If you scream and you fight, we put a gag in your mouth and throw you in the trunk. If you relax and accept death and what's coming to you.
After the tape ran its course, she secretly swiped it, replaced it with another, and after the events of that night had wound down, she set out to report the entire group to law enforcement. Within a week, the lives of Jonathan Cockrell, Travis Paya, Christina Lum, James Carwile, and Derek Vaxlinger, everyone involved in perpetrating this stunt, would change. They were all arrested, finding themselves awaiting trial on kidnapping and assault charges, and facing anywhere from 7 years to life in prison under Michigan law. Contrary to their claims of simply aspiring to create a horror movie, Danielle Taylor maintained that she had no idea about any of this. To her, this was all very real, and given our glance at the footage, it's easy to empathize with her. Interestingly though, support for her wouldn't be unanimous, as once testimonies came out and the footage was given a second look, cracks in the facade began to show. Danielle, at numerous points throughout the footage, does things that make no sense. She scratches her nose. She inquires on if the rope is tight enough. And just minutes after she supposedly thought she was dying, she can be seen laughing alongside the group.
I survived, and I'm freezing and my arms hurt.
If you move anymore, I swear to God, I'm using a blade to do this. Alright?
A bizarre reaction, especially considering the circumstances.
Now, I agree with that. That is a little weird what she just did in that clip. And it goes back to what I was saying right here. As you see her now, when the supposedly throat slash first supposed been happened, she just went down and she stayed silent. But I wouldn't even, after even that, later on in that clip, like, long story short story long, being team. For the rest of that night, I would have been pissed off at all them. Take me to F home. Like, I would have been going to F off. Like, don't play with me like that. I would have never even been their friends anymore. All of them would have been cut the F off if I really thought that this was real and they played a horrific prank on me like this. I don't know if this lady is in on this ish or not. I guess that's all I really need to say. I don't know, being seen. I don't know.
Even still, a Lapeer County prosecutor named Brian Concha spoke to the media on Danielle's behalf, maintaining his belief that she did not know that any of it was staged until the end. The prank was intended by the participants, but the last party, the victim, was not in on it. Conversely, attorneys representing the accused said the tape shows that Danielle, in fact, did know that it was a movie, citing the fact that she never begged the group not to kill her, appeared to smile after the gig was up, and had not once told them to stop. She pretends to play dead for about a minute, one said. If she truly thought she was going to be buried alive, she would have struggled. As we can see, all we have here is a he said, she said situation. No one here ever knew the answer on if she were acting in this stunt. Not the prosecutors, not their lawyers, no one but Danielle Taylor.
Another effed up thing about this being team, if this lady is freaking lying and she was a part of this stunt, she was in on it, it's so effed up to just treat your friends like that, to do your friends like that. You know what I'm saying, man? We all coming together making this great horror film, then you want to flip it into this whole narrative and lie about that we freaking did this without your knowing, we kidnapped you and all this, now we up in freaking prison and you know that you was in on it. That would be so effed up too. Just had to point that out. Let's go.
In the midst of an intense legal battle, Christina Lum had turned on her group of friends, accepting a plea bargain on a reduced charge of attempted felonious assault, and received a suspended 6-month sentence pending the completion of probation. Derek Vaxlinger was ordered to pay a $200 fine. Jimmy Carwile received a 4-month sentence, while Paya and Cockrell got 8 months. All suspended sentences following the completion of probation. All of them inevitably served their time and got out. However, in the end, another affliction entirely would befall them. Travis Peya, the group's ringleader, passed away on Tuesday, April 18th, 2006. Derek Faxlinger passed away on Monday, February 12th, 2007. And Jonathan Cockerill lost his life on Wednesday, February 19th of 2014. All of them were less than 35 years old. Almost like a curse, 3 of the 4 men involved in the real Blair Witch incident had died before their lives could even get off the ground, and any information surrounding them, barren. All that seemed to exist was hearsay, notably on the website My Death Space, in which Travis Peya's cause of death was speculated to have been caused by drug use. Furthermore, mentions of Derek Faxlinger come up in reference to an MLive article which states that he passed away from an epileptic seizure and had his organs donated to those in need. Even still, though, nothing definitive on whether this came from the fallout of the real Blair Witch ever came up. Onlookers then were just as conflicted, just as confused as all of us today.
I don't think that all 3 of those guys dying had anything to do with this real Blair Witch incident. You know what I'm saying? I think they just unfortunately died young, all 3 of them.
For a while, it seemed like this was the end to the real Blair Witch saga. A lost media legend turned criminal battle that resulted in the loss of 3 lives. However, an entire year after the original Reddit post was made, a user named Beef Brothel emerged out of seemingly nowhere, shedding light on the deaths of their supposed friends. Derek, John, and Trav have all passed away. Derek had a seizure in the shower and sadly passed from that. His organs were donated and saved quite a few people. He was an extremely kind person and gave great hugs. Travis had a terrible tooth infection, and I'm not sure if that was the cause, but it was a contributing factor in his death. John was depressed, I can't deny that. His mother died and they were quite close, so his partying ramped up during the period after her passing. Another friend was with him that night. They were celebrating his new apartment, and it was simply an accidental overdose. He was one of my best friends, and I'm still angry at him for being so careless, especially because things were moving in such a positive direction for him. None of their deaths were because of the pressure of the case. Jim and I still talk occasionally, but he moved to another state and lives a private life. He's a good man, and I think he was affected the most by this situation. The girl apologized to them after the fact and insisted that she never wanted any of this to happen. She was known to our graduating class as a notorious exaggerator before any of this ever happened, so there's that. Plus, she was young and was being told by a lot of authority figures that she had to go along with this prosecution. She claimed after the fact that she believed taking the video from the house would prove that it was just a joke and everyone would just get off the hook. She didn't realize that John was pausing the recording between shots. Part of me thinks she initially enjoyed the initial attention, but it spiraled way out of control.
Yes.
If I didn't know, these guys participated in these types of pranks on all of our friends weekly, made a dozen backyard horror films with them, spent all of my free time with them for years. I would think they were psychos too. That's just not the case. Jackass and Blair Witch were huge at this time, so it was kind of a mashup of the 2 genres to them. We all knew that if you went to Rancho, you could get pranked. It's just how things were. They did almost the exact thing to another friend a week or 2 before, and she was the one who suggested that they film it next time. Unfortunate. This was a devastating time for our group of friends, their families, and their loved ones. Visiting them in jail was bonkers. I'll never forget how sad they all looked and how many people came to see them. Everyone knew that they did not do this maliciously, except the prosecutor, and he was a real asshole. Long story short, it was a prank, and everyone except the law knew that.
I mean, that unknown Reddit new user who probably was a friend of them, that long story short story long that they put on there, it sounds good and it's plausible, but is it the truth? I don't know. Believe what you want to, Bean Team. Believe what you want to.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you. You just said hi. But if you had one thing to say, if this was your last day on Earth, what would it be?
Fuck you.
Why fuck
The real Blair Witch incident is a bizarre, unsettling chapter in the history of lost media. A story that serves as both a reflection of our deepest fears and a reminder of the human capacity for cruelty. How far would you go for a chance to escape a place in which you have no future? Was Danielle in on things, or was she truly terrified for her life that night? I've always said that lost media, by nature, carries this enduring sense of mystery, and in my opinion, this one is no different. It is, and always will be, eerie, a look into the lives of intensely conflicted individuals. But if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that we may likely never ever get our hands on the full original tape in its entirety.
True.
The story of Danielle Taylor will forever live on through the lens of news reports and documentaries. And in its wake, an unsolvable question. Did she truly know? Perhaps we never will. A lost media mystery that may never find a resolution.
That was freaking amazing, Bean Team. Seriously, hold on. Let me make sure that's the end of the video. Yeah, I think that's the end, y'all. The real Blair Witch incident. Like I said, man, that was freaking amazing from Nexpo. I gotta give a clap up for that one, y'all. And at the end of the day, did she truly know? I don't know. We got all the information from both freaking sides. You know what I'm saying? We got all this and that. But at the end of the day, I still don't know what to believe. I just look at it from both sides. Like, even the side of if she was in on it, how effed up that was for her to do her friends like that, just lying on them and putting them in jail for a couple of months and making them go through all that when it wasn't even that real like that. Or maybe she wasn't in on it. Maybe she had no idea about the prank, when then she would be justified. Where is she now? You know what I'm saying? Where is she now, and what the freak is she doing? Somebody need to interview this lady one more time. Nexpo, you need to freaking interview her. Seriously, get on a live stream. Do it live. Let's do it live. Seriously, man. I don't know, y'all. I know I said it 100 times before, but I gotta say it 100 times again. I really don't know what to believe with this case, man. It was a great video from Nexpo, and it really didn't have anything to do with the Blair Witch Project other than the fact that it was documented or filmed in the same similar type of way. You know what I'm saying? Just a group of people with a freaking camcorder doing some craziness or having some craziness going on. Oh man, Bean Team, this is one of those mysteries that's gonna be on my mind for a while. Like, what did she truly know? Did she truly know? And I digress. I'm gonna let y'all go, man, because I can keep going on and on about this, but I feel like we have been here long enough. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. Like I said, this was a great time going to Nexpo once again, my friends. And y'all know we will be back sometime in the future. But until then, y'all just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And remember this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.
If you're feeling lonely today, come along and throw your cares away.